It's time for the Tony Lewis Show. Learn all about Jasper Wildcat football. This week's show is sponsored by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. Go Wildcats!
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
And welcome to this week's Tony Lewis Show. And Coach, I'll tell you what, I've seen the first two games Jasper's played, and my observation is if you didn't buy a program, if you bought a program the first week and not the second week, you made a mistake, because I did.
Well, we had to start off. Congrats to Harrison. They played well. They deserved to win the game. They were more physical than us. They made more plays than us. Offensively, anytime you fumble the ball 5 times and have 5 turnovers, you're going to struggle to win the game. Obviously, in the second half, we were able to come back a little bit and make it a game and actually take the lead, but we couldn't hold on to the lead. We had a couple, obviously, injuries. Going into the game, Grant Young couldn't play, and then on the opening kickoff return, Braylon Bear injured his MCL and was out for the game. And then in the first quarter, Caden Ernie, our other starting slot and corner, injured his shoulder. So, we were dealing with some injuries, but that's football and that's life. It's next man up, and we just didn't deal with it very well and struggled a little bit throughout the game.
And I'll tell you what, you just said I didn't have a program, so I was always listening to PA to see who was, and come to realize that one of the people that was running the ball, making a very big contribution, was Mitchell Leinenbach, and all of a sudden he wasn't playing in the fourth quarter, and I asked my son, and he goes, I think he got hurt again too.
He did. I forgot about him in the last couple series. He got kind of banged in the head a little bit making a tackle, so he was out as well. So he was one of our corners, our backup corners. Both our starting corners were already out. He was our backup corner, so we actually had to move one of our strong safeties to corner, Charlie Cabrick, who had never played corner before. Unfortunately, they found Charlie when he came to corner and threw a deep post and able to complete it and make it 15-13 at that point. We held him on the 2-point conversion, and then the last drive, unfortunately, again, we put the ball on the ground. All we had to do was run clock and eat clock with about 3 minutes to go, but we put the ball on the ground, and they, again, had a long pass that was aided by a 4th down penalty on their sideline, a late hit, and then hit a pass over the middle where we had 3 guys there that kind of, one fell down and the other 2 kind of jumped but didn't jump high enough, and their number 2 receiver caught it, ran it in, and then we got the ball back late in the game and drove it down, but weren't able to convert in the passing game late in the game. So, again, hats off to Harrison. They deserve to win. They played more physical than us, and hopefully we can learn from it.
And we'll be back on the Tony Lewis Show right after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening to the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.
This is the most important amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild. He just won the game. Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
And welcome back to this Morning Wood Show. And we're joined by Jasper Athletic Director Phil Kendall. Phil, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you doing?
Doing great. Great. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about Jasper's first Hall of Fame for athletics, and wanted to get you on here and talk about that. I know that they're going to be recognized at the Jasper versus Evansville Mater Dei varsity football game on Friday the 16th, and then you'll have a banquet and a ceremony on the 17th. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, the ceremony?
Yeah, Joe, we're really excited about it. This was something that started to take place already a couple of years ago. This was pretty much kind of spearheaded by the works of Greg Eckerly and Bernie Vogler, and with a combination of previous athletic director Brian Lewis, kind of got the wheels going in motion on this. We're using the Jasper Athletics Hall of Fame as a way to kind of go back and recognize those people, honor the athletes, coaches, individuals, all those people who made significant contributions to the athletics program at Jasper High School. It was probably due time for it. This year with the initial class, somebody asked, how do you start with an initial class? There's been so many great athletes to go through Jasper in the past. And we made it pretty simple and basically said anybody that's currently recognized in an Indiana Hall of Fame, whether that's the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, Indiana Baseball Hall of Fame, Volleyball Hall of Fame, Wrestling Hall of Fame, anybody that's in a state-recognized Hall of Fame is going to get in on this first class. And what we have then is that encompasses 23 different individuals that are going to make up the inaugural class of the Hall of Fame. Along with then, we are also putting in the 9 team state champions. Those people don't go in as individual members of the Hall of Fame. Their team goes in as a Hall of Fame. So all in all, we're looking at, we have 23 individuals and 9 teams going to be part of this inauguration class.
Okay. And are tickets still available for the banquet?
There's, I would say, a very, very limited. We had to have a cutoff date. We've had tickets for sale since about the middle of July. I should say beginning of July. We've sold them at the last couple football games. We had to have a cutoff date for our reservations at the Calumet where we're holding the banquet at. We kind of had to have a cutoff date for our caterer that's providing the meal for the banquet as well. But I would say, if you're interested, I would still probably call into the athletic office to see if there are tickets available. Like I said, we do have a few limited capacity.
And if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know.
Yeah, this is great getting the word out there. Again, Jasper's always been one of those, I think, schools that, you and I, we've both been around it for a long time, where everybody's always put the team first. Nobody's really ever put the individual ahead of the team, but this is a good chance for us to go back and recognize some of those individuals that made those teams great.
And, being athletic director, I'm sure you're busy with fall sports. How are our fall sports doing right now?
The fall sports are off to a good start. We've had a couple of hiccups here and there, but attendance has been back. Finally, seeing people back. We're getting through the COVID situation and all that good stuff, and crowds have been really pretty electric at the events that I've been at, and I've been proud of the way the teams have been representing Jasper High School on the floor, or on the turf, or on the soccer pitch or the tennis courts.
And it's you're talking about COVID. It's been funny you said that, because our shows last year, our coaches shows for football, it seemed like I always had to see who's out that week, because there was always people are out.
Yeah, and let's not lie to ourselves. You know, COVID's still out there. You know, for example, my daughter had to stay home for 5 days from school the other day, so it still does exist. But we've learned to live with it. You know, we've learned to accept it like it's a strep throat or it's the flu or something like that. Where we're not having to go because this person sat next to this person at lunch where we got to put them out of school for 6 days. You know, the treatment, the diagnosis, it's all gotten better. And I'm happy that we're just getting kids back out on the field, back on the court, and getting back to our normal athletic lifestyle.
Well, Phil, good luck to the Jasper Wildcats on the upcoming seasons.
Yes, thanks very much, Joe. And like I said, if anybody would like go to the Hall of Fame banquet, tickets are limited again, limited capacity, but we'd be hopefully able to grant your wishes, I guess, if you would, on that. Like I said, we're really looking forward to it.
And you've been listening to the Tony Lewis Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosford Communications. We'll be back right after these messages from our sponsors.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
This is the most important, amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild. He just won the game. Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
And welcome back to the Tony Lewis Show. And Coach, I'll tell you what, that interview we just had with Phil Kendall was great. And I know a lot of people are excited about the Hall of Fame induction.
Oh, it should be a great event. You know, I'm sure we're going to have some people come back into town for that event. And it'll be, you know, at some of the best overall athletic performers to ever walk through Jasper High School will be represented that night and honored, and some coaches will be honored, and it should be a great night for Jasper athletics.
Yeah, Phil sent me the website of the inductees, and I'll tell you, it's you know, the crazy thing is there are probably a lot of other people that are going to make it eventually, but it was great to see the people that are making it now.
Absolutely, and you know, anytime you can be in the inaugural class of the Hall of Fame, that's a great accomplishment. And again, what a better way to honor them than to get them back in town and have a big ceremony for them, and also bring a lot of people that are interested in Jasper High School and in our community for that event.
And, you know, if you can't make it to the banquet, you can always see the inductees. They're going to be honored at the Mater Dei game. So make it to the Mater Dei game if you can't make it to the banquet.
Absolutely. The more people in the stands, the better off.
Okay, and this week you're playing Wrights. Wrights sits at 2-0. You'll be playing away, and I recommend everybody go down there, even though if you can't, it will be on TV. So also that little plug in for Waltz. Why don't you preview that game for us?
Well, you know, Wrights is a very athletic team. They have 3 or 4 receivers that are very athletic. They have a couple running backs that they rotate in there. Their quarterback transferred in from Central. He's a very accurate quarterback. So offensively, you know, they do a good job of both running the ball and spreading the ball out to their playmakers. We're going to have to do a great job of tackling in space defensively this week. On the other side of the ball, they've shown a couple defenses. They run a 3-3 stack, which is very similar to our defense. And they've also shown a 4-2-5 defense, which is very similar to Memorial's defense. So it'll really depend on what we see in terms of what we're running offensively, in terms of the plays that we choose to run against them, in terms of our option offense. But, you know, it's going to be a great task for our kids and our program. They're 2-0. They're playing well. Obviously, we're coming off a tough loss, and we've got to rebound. And most importantly, as we told our kids, we got to come out and be physical and compete. You know, our whole program is based on competition, and we want to come out and compete and give ourselves a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter.
Well, Coach, good luck this week, and as you say, Jasper always competes.
That's exactly right. Go Wildcats.
You're listening to the Tony Lewis Show, brought to you by the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligans Brosper Communications. We'll see you next week.
You have been listening to the Tony Lewis Show. Join us every week to learn more about Jasper Wildcat football. This week's show is brought to you by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. See you next week.